Hey everybody, hope you guys are healthy and safe. So if you've been following my channel and my videos, thank you for that by the way. You may have noticed that my videos tend to have two distinctive looks. So the first look is this look that you're seeing right now. It's a very shallow depth of field look, like meaning the background is a little bit blurred. There's a clear separation between my head or whatever I'm holding in my hand and the background. The second look is this look. Now you can see the background is a lot more in focus and everything looks a little bit sharper and more digitalized. Now obviously this look with the creamy bokeh is a little bit more professional looking, and by now you probably have figured out that this is shot with a quote-unquote real camera, my Sony A7C. Whereas this footage is shot with a smartphone, an iPhone 13 Pro in particular. Now you might be wondering, if this footage is so much better than the smartphone footage, then why do I ever shoot with a smartphone? Well, the reason is because a camera stabilization, no matter how good it is, just pales in comparison to a smartphone. Particularly if I walk around right now for walk and shoot videos, you should see a lot of jerkiness. Now compare that with the same footage shot with an iPhone. It should be a lot more stable. So for me, a small-time YouTuber, sometimes when I'm filming walk and talk videos, I would rather just get better stabilization and shoot with a smartphone. But more professional videographers or bigger, more famous YouTubers, they will not sacrifice that image quality. They're just going to shoot with a real camera no matter what. Instead, they will use a gimbal, a 3-axis stabilizing system. But traditionally, for a gimbal to be powerful enough to handle the weight of a proper camera, they need to be quite bulky, which makes it very hard for me to operate by myself, until now. This is the Zhiyun Crane M3. So if you follow gimbals at all, if you follow digital videography at all, you will probably have heard of Zhiyun. They are a Shenzhen-based company that specializes in making gimbals. So this is the gimbal. So this thing is really small and lightweight. Usually in the past, a gimbal this small can only handle smartphones. If you want to support a real, proper, full-frame camera like this, you know, in the past, a year or 2 years ago, a gimbal this size cannot do the job, but this gimbal can actually do the job. So let me show you. So first, I'm gonna put the tripod leg onto the Zhiyun Crane M3. And we're going to do the balancing aspect. So another specialty about the Zhiyun Crane M3 is it comes with a quick release plate. So that means you put this on the bottom of your camera, you dock it in, and then whenever you need to remove your camera, you can just do it with a couple of buttons. You don't have to rebalance the whole gimbal every time. So you just kind of snap it on like this. It snaps into place. There's 3 switches that I have to hit to unlock the gimbal. Right now it is locked. So the first one is right here. So that unlocks the tilt axis motor. The second switch is right here, and then that unlocks this motor. And then there's one more right here. I unlock that, opens up. So now the gimbal is ready for balancing. So I just need to screw the camera on. And at this point, I just have to balance the camera on the gimbal before I turn it on. Because the better you balance it, the less power it requires from the motor. So you notice that when I let go of the camera tilts to the left side and points downward. So we need to fix this by holding the switch a little bit and push it out to get it to kind of sit more evenly. So see, now it's not like tilting to the left side. And then next up, we want to get the camera lens to point up when it's by pushing this camera back a little bit to put the weight back. So now you see the lens kind of points up naturally. You want it like this to get that proper balance. But because I'm going to use this camera to film myself, I have to account for the fact that the lens has to be pulled out too. So I'm going to pull the lens out first, which will mess up the balance a little bit. Now you see the camera is tilting a little bit this way again, so I just have to adjust a little bit. It's a balancing act basically. Once you get it like this is pretty okay balanced already. So now I just need to turn on this gimbal. The button is right here. I just need to turn it on, and it should balance the camera automatically. Now you see, the camera is perfectly balanced, like a Stanos would say. So this already is a game changer for me, because previously a camera, you know, a full frame camera like this, I have a Sony 20mm lens. Usually a camera of this size with a lens like this would require a bigger gimbal. Like the previous gimbal I used for my camera was like this tall. This thing is like barely maybe like 12 inches off the ground, including the tripod. Another cool feature about the Zhiyun Crane M3 is that you have a 1.2-inch LCD display that gets pretty bright and vibrant, and you can actually cycle through all the modes to set different modes. But you can also change modes by pressing on this button here. You probably already see that there are a lot of buttons here. Each one of them do a lot of things. So obviously you have a joystick wheel here that controls the motion of the camera. You have this M button here that changes modes. You have this button here that actually controls the camera, because up here there's a USB-C port right here that allows you to connect to your digital camera, and you can control your camera with this button here. Now around the left side is a quarter mount screw, so if you want to screw in a microphone or other lighting, you can do that. But you probably don't need to fill in a light because this gimbal comes with a fill light right here. So I can just turn it on by long pressing and the fill light turns on. The switch is right here, and it's a dial, so you can actually change the brightness level by rotating on the dial. And then you'll see there's also a reel right here. So this reel is to adjust controls of the cameras too. So right now I'm not connected to the camera, but if I am, I can change ISO or shutter speed by rotating on this dial. And then right here is a trigger that allows you to access quick control. So for example, if you hold on to the trigger, you can speed up the gimbal movement, or if you triple tap on the trigger, then it will switch the lens over to selfie mode. Okay, but enough talk, let's show you guys how stabilization works. So now I am filming my full frame camera on the Zhiyun Crane M3, and look at how stable it is compared to previously, right? So now I get the best of both worlds. I can get the stabilization that usually comes with shooting with a smartphone camera, but I get this professional look, this creamy bokeh behind my head. So I'm gonna run a little bit to see how stabilization is too. And the fact that the Zhiyun Crane M3 can support this camera's full weight is really impressive. I can't stress this enough. Even a year ago, if I wanted a gimbal for this camera, I needed something twice the size. Now I can have this whole package like this. And on a single charge, the Crane M3 can run for about 8 hours. So a full day of shooting won't be any issues. So this gimbal is all about convenience. With the quick release plate, I can take out this camera really quickly if I need. And if I want to just run and gun film, I can just long press on the mode button, and then that will put the gimbal to sleep. So now it is not using any power. So I can put this entire package inside a bag if I want, and then next stop I need to film again, just pull it out, long press on the mode button, and then it will automatically spring back into action, and it is perfectly balanced. And then you can see how fluid motion is. This is my dad, by the way. He's been helping me hold the camera. So this is the Zhiyun Crane M3. Just this part alone, be able to handle this entire weight on a package this small is already enough to justify a purchase on my end, but there's a lot more actually. So inside this package is another adapter base. So this actually allows you to, so you can actually install this on the bottom of the Crane M3 like this. You can still put on your tripod like on this. So this base, as you can probably already see, it's to attach a professional microphone. This is a 6.5mm jack that you can plug in a professional quality microphone. So this whole package comes with a shotgun professional mic if you want. It costs extra though. My package does not come with it, but I do get this base. And as I mentioned earlier, you can plug in a USB-C and control your camera directly on this gimbal. So there's a lot you can do with something that is ultimately so portable that you can fit into your backpack. So this is my camera bag. When I travel and need to film, this is what I bring. So this gimbal can fit into your entire camera bag just like this. It barely takes up any space. And I can just put my camera into the slot as I usually do. And just like that, I have a package that's ready to go. So this is the Zhiyun Crane M3. This gimbal by itself, along with a tripod leg, sells for $369 US. But like I mentioned, there are multiple different packages. You can get these two along with a phone mount and this bag for $449 US. And if you want the shotgun mic along with this microphone mount, along with the bag, the tripod leg, the whole package then goes up to $650. Obviously at $650, this is for professionals. But I think for most people, you don't need that shotgun mic. You can just get This setup here for around $350, $360. And if you make videos for a living or you're aspiring to make videos for a living, this is definitely worth it. Like for me, this is a game changer to have something this small that can handle my full frame Sony camera. So in the future, whenever I shoot my on-the-go footage, you'll probably notice that footage looks a little bit better because I'll be filming with my Sony A7C with this instead of just a smartphone. Ultimately, smartphone footage, which you're watching right now, this is smartphone footage a little bit flat. It just doesn't have that professional vibe of a real camera. On top of that, when it gets dark, a smartphone footage will show a lot of noise, whereas a Sony A7C with a real nice lens can film at night without any issues. So that's about it for this video on the Zhiyun Crane M3. This is not a review because I didn't get to test the shotgun mic and a bunch of other features. This is just kind of like a first look, but I'm really impressed by this. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.